Hello everyone, well thank you for stopping by and watching this little video. Well today I want to talk about the word God. Now before I start, this is not to force feed or any belief or anything that you have experienced in the past where somebody is force feeding the word God down your throat, where it's nearly turned you against the idea of this man in the clouds with the beard and the staff. This is not what it's about at all. And may I just say too that the word God is just a word. Now, I can choose to use the word universe. I can choose to use the word divine, source, energy. I can call it anything I wish to call it. But that's just to identify what it is that I want to talk about. Now, I'm Evelyn, but Evelyn does not identify who I am. It only is my name, that's it. But it's not who I am. There is much, much more to me than a name. And the same as the word God, or universe, or source, or energy, or divine, or Tao, whatever you choose to call it. So please bear with me and let me explain to you how we bring about the life that we want, how we create the life that we want. And I want to tell you, and I will keep saying this until my last breath in my body, that you have everything within you. You have everything within you. And unfortunately, throughout the years, we have been denied this truth. Now, it depends on what you've been reading or who you've been following or watching. But this has always been within us. And we have been denied this truth from centuries. And unfortunately, it has been manipulated and pulled different directions for people to control, for people to stay in power. And they did not come of spirit. They did not come of their true selves when this is what they used it for power, for control, because that simply came from ego. And ego only works through fear. And I know I'm just an ordinary woman, an ordinary mama with 3 kids, but this is our truth. And I want to tell as many people, if it can help some one person, if it can have an effect on your life, of what it is that you can bring about into your life. Now, the 2 things that are matter here are the human and the being. Human and being. And one is the human, which we are. We're here in form as human. The being is of our source, of us, what we truly, truly are. The being came about before the human. Okay, so when we combine those 2, and the being part is your heart center, what you feel in your heart. And the human aspect is the thought. Now, when you can combine those 2 together and you get that feeling, you see, you can bring about what it is you want. Because with the feeling that you have throughout your body, you send that energy, you send that spirit, you send that God, you send that whatever you want to call it within you, you put it out. And everything that your eye cannot see and see, it's of the same energy. You see, you connect to that and you draw that, you pull that back into yourself. So going about life thinking it's okay for someone else, it's all right for them. I don't have the money, I don't have the time. But I am telling you this now, and this is how it is, that when you combine those 2, so if your human side, your thought is constantly in the past, where you are dwelling in the past, then you see, you're bringing about that feeling. And you release that again, and you'll just keep drawing back the same. And I know it's difficult for people to conceive the idea that if my life is absolutely out of control at the moment, that all I have to do is change my thought, get into that feeling, and it'll come about. And I promise you now, that's the way that it works. But we have to get to the human aspect of it, of training the thought, of acknowledging what thoughts are there, but what we dig into. And it's about creating the life. What is it that you want? And this is without limitations. It's not about where you were brought up in. It's not about how much money that you had. It's not about the school you went to. It's not about how many certificates that you possess. Because this, again, is not who you are. These are things that you have achieved or was handed down to you or that you worked really, really hard for. But when it comes from your thought, this is what I want to do, without saying, but without the hows, and you feel that in your heart space, and you feel that feeling in your body that this is happening now, what you do is you are releasing that, and things will start to change in your life. People will enter your life. People will drift away from your life because they are not on the same journey as you. Opportunities will come your way. And this is the part where ego will probably jump in and go, no, this isn't for you. This is for everybody else. It's not for you. But you see, you have to be mindful and aware of that there, because whether ego does not want us to strive or it's a darkness ending us, it's not our true source. It's not from your heart space. If you do not feel it in your heart space, it is not of your true essence. And I just want to make this as plain and simple for everyone. Now, if you're going about labeling yourself with all of these, that I am depression. My thought is that I am depression. The doctors have said I'm depressed. The teachers have said I'm depressed. My parents have said I'm depressed. It runs in the family. I must be depressed. So my thought is constantly there on depression. And then I feel that, and I feel what depression's like, and I am constantly in that state of depression. So therefore, life can only give me back what I think and feel. And that's how it goes. That's the way it is. Now, you see, when you start to change the thought, okay, somebody will say, so if I begin to think that I'm not depressed, come on, are you for real? But you see, you start to train your mind. What is it that I want to feel like? Because you're not this label. You are not this label. You were not born this way. These things have all infiltrated. They have come into us in some shape or form. And we have allowed that. And we've accepted what others have had to say about us or talk about us. And we've believed that maybe of ourselves because we've got into that feeling. So I think, how do I want to feel? How do I want to feel in my life? And I get my thought there. And I start to feel, okay, today, even just today, how do I want to feel today? You see, and you start shifting, the feeling starts shifting. But because we have reprogrammed our whole thinking and our body into that old state, this is going to take a while. And then ego will pop back in again and go, no, you're depressed. Remember, you're depressed. You're comfortabler when you're depressed. You know what depression is. You don't know any of this other stuff. And that's what's going to come in on you time after time. Anxiety is the exact same. You're anxious. You never stay calm about things. You always worry about stuff. These are the thoughts that are going to drift about in your head. But this is a daily practice, a daily routine. And to be aware of what's coming into our thoughts and the feeling that I'm getting from this. You see, then this is when I put myself into that, change that thought and get in my heart space. And I know that this is who I am. And I feel that. You see, my energy changes. And then I put that out. But you have to be willing to want the change. You have to be willing to put in the practice and keep your eyes open for all the changes that are coming about in your life. Be thankful for all of the small changes. You see, if we think, okay, I'm going to bring about that I'm a millionaire. So if you have come from that state of just scraping by in life, just getting through, and then, okay, if my thoughts and my words match up and I get into that feeling of what it's like to be a millionaire, hey, Prest, I'm going to be a millionaire. Well, how are you going to accept that from going from one to the other just straight away? Everything is a stepping stone and everything is a journey. And the beauty with the journey is that we learn along the way. We learn, because to go from A to Z in an alphabet, we miss out everything that's in between. The important letters that make up the words. So try and be mindful of your thoughts and feel it from your heart space when the two become one, because this is who you are. This is really and truly who you are. God is within you. This heaven and universe and spirit, and so it's within you and it's outside of you as well. So whatever I release, I draw back into me. So you get to choose whether you want this to be heaven on earth or hell on earth, because it's within you and you have everything, and you've been denied that for centuries. We have all been denied that, what our truth is. We always assumed it was outside of us. And we always asked, when we got to that, really, things nearly actually had to get to a state of despair or illness or sickness, and then we turned to God. Whether we had the belief or not, I'm asking you for help. You see, We have to wait till things get that bad sometimes in our life, or someone dies and we'll say, Jesus, that puts things into perspective. And it will for a short space, but then we go back to the old routine. So if you are willing to change and bring about change, number one, it's your thought. How I start my morning, that I am so grateful, that I am full of gratitude. And the more that you are grateful, the more you will find to be grateful for in your life. When you see events happening, instead of the old tunnel vision, he's right, he's wrong, I'm right, you're wrong, let go of the judgment. Just step back from it all. If they choose to be right, let them be right. If that's who they need to be to justify themselves. And certainly we don't put up with nonsense or anything like that. That's valuing yourself. But know in your heart what it is that you're worth. This does not matter what anyone has said to you throughout your years, what people have told you, what you have experienced, what you have come through in your life. Now is the time for change. And you get to do that, connecting the two, my thoughts, and get into feeling that. Feeling it, that it's happening now. And I put that out, and I live my life with joy, and I bring joy to others. And that's what my mantra is, and for everyone, what our purpose is in this life, is that I bring joy to my life and bring joy to others by what I love doing and what I just love every morning rising to do, is to help others. And others help me. So I hope in some way this has made a wee bit of sense. You know, I know it's so difficult for all of a sudden for these things to start coming about, but there's a reason as to why you're watching this video. You've been searching for something or looking for something. Because I have certainly done it all. I have hunted, I went to churches all around the country. I searched for God. And I did not know that it was all within me. Now, do I go to my churches now? No. I can find what it is, my spirit, my source, my love within me. And I know that it's outside of me. And I connect to that. So do yourself a favour and just be mindful of the thoughts. And bring about the good thoughts into your mind. Stay present. Take time out of your day to sit just in the stillness and the quietness and connect to what it is that's around you, because we all are of the same. The birds, the trees, even the air, the things that we don't see, we're all connected to. And remember yourself that what I put out, I'll receive back. Have a wonderful day.